Hi everyone, welcome to Cluck Farm Chickens. Today we're going to be looking at what is a broody hen and what to do with them. Okay, so here we have a typical chicken coop with your bantam hens. They've all made nests in here and they're all broody. However, because I'm filming, they're doing the complete opposite of what I wanted to show you. So they'll come out to feed. They've only got one chick between them at the moment. It's been hatched several days. The other eggs haven't hatched yet. So this is a bit of a separate issue actually, but I'll mention it because we're witnessing it. So there's 4 hens here. They've all sat on nests. One chick has hatched. So they all think, oh well, cool, job done. So then this chick now has 4 mothers. And I don't think they've abandoned the nest, but I will keep an eye on it. Because they may well have now, all of them, abandoned all the other eggs to all take care of this one chick because the hormones and the instincts kick in. So this will be the most doted after, looked after chick in chicken history, as long as they don't start fighting over it, because then it can get a bit dangerous, like you see on the nature documentaries with penguin chicks where the other parents try to steal them things. So if they have abandoned, then I'll have to put the other eggs in the incubator. But so these are broody hens. Now these are bantams, different breeds. I'm just filming them, mate. Chill out. Different breeds of hen, or chicken rather, have different levels of broodiness. These are all bantam breeds. There's a few different ones. You've got Dutch Pekings there and a frizzle. But if they're a bantam breed, they're going to be bad brooders. By which I mean they're going to brood a lot. So, because they're not doing it, I do have a turkey, which is doing it. So I will now quickly film the turkey to show you what to look out for in chickens. I hope that, yeah, I'm coming. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so here we have our broody turkey hen. And it's exactly the same as chickens. This is what they do. So if your chicken is doing this, ignore the fact this is a turkey. If your chicken is doing this, this is what a broody hen looks like. It's exactly the same for turkeys, chickens, ducks, pretty much any bird, really. So they're secluded. They're all puffed up, they're in their corner, they're on their nest, regardless of whether there's anything actually in the nest. They're running purely on hormones and instinct. And they become not aggressive, but defensive. So if I go near her, she's not going to back down. She's going to, So she got me. And there's one of the eggs there, which, to be honest, has fallen through a gap, so that's not going to hatch, is it, love? So, and this is the problem. They run on instinct, not... Sorry, camera's shaking a bit because of the way I'm positioned. They run on instinct, not on logic or intelligence. So quite often they'll be sat on rotten eggs. But you can see this turkey is not looking in good shape. And that's because she is eating and drinking. But she quickly runs out, eats, drinks, and then comes back. And she spends, well, more than 23 hours a day, I'd say, just sat here like this. So we do want her to actually hatch these eggs, so we are leaving her. But if we weren't hatching the eggs, this is obviously detrimental. Also, if you've got no male, then the eggs aren't fertilised. It's a pointless task. So she's sitting there making herself quite unwell for absolutely no real reason. So we'll go back through to the chickens and we'll show you sort of what to do. But yeah, this is what you're looking out for. You could mistake it for a bird being ill. They're not ill. They are just broody. There's the male. Okay, so that's what you're looking out for with a broody animal. So what is broody? What makes them go broody? It is pure instinct. They want to breed and multiply like any other animal. So the chicken is obviously laying eggs all the time. So when they have laid eggs, humans taking the eggs away stops them becoming broody for a time. So they're trying to build a nest. So they know they need to lay 6 to 12 eggs. So they will lay 6 to 12 eggs, then they will go broody and sit on them. All the time you're taking the eggs away, they never reach the required amount of eggs. So they don't go broody. It's not, sometimes they just give up and go, right, fine, I'll go broody on 2 eggs. This is complicated, however, when you have a clutch of chickens, a flock of chickens, because if you've got 6 hens, well, every day there's 6 eggs. and one of them that's going broody will just steal the other eggs, and they've instantly got enough. So then they become very broody and very collective of the eggs, and that's when you get fighting in the nest and everything. Now, a broody hen is not a problem. It is a completely natural behaviour. They just want babies. They're doing exactly what comes naturally to them. I've had a customer ring me up before saying, my hen's gone broody, you need to take it back, that's no good to me. Doesn't quite work like that. At some point, regardless of breed, every single female chicken will go broody. How bad that is depends upon the breed. I've just said bantam breeds are the worst. Silkies are probably the worst of the bantam breeds. They will go really broody. The turkey that I've just showed you, they'll go broody like that for 3-4 months. They're awful for it, but most people don't have turkeys. Your standard back garden hen, your Isa Browns, your Road Rocks, your Light Sussex, all that lot, all these lots behind me and that, they'll go broody, but not too bad, maybe once a year. And they're not too bad for it, and you can quickly sort of break them. Now, what is the problem with going broody? The problem is they become ill, especially if you've got no cockerel. If those eggs are never going to hatch, those birds know that they need to sit there, well, again, depending on breed, but it's average 25 days. So they know they need to sit there for 25 days. If the eggs don't hatch after 25 days, some of them will go, oh well, that didn't work, and that's it, you're done. Other times they won't. They'll just keep sitting. Think, well, they must hatch any time now. So they will just sitting until basically those eggs go rotten and explode underneath them, which is not pleasant. If anyone's ever smelt a rotten egg, it is horrendous. And it's bad for the bird. It's really bad for the bird to be sat there that long, especially in the summer months. So you want to break it. So the easiest way is just to keep collecting the eggs every day. Make sure you're on it. Make sure you're collecting those eggs. But like I said, doesn't always work, especially when you have a lot of chickens to deal with and there's constant eggs. So another way you can do it is, as long as the chicken is coming out in the morning, when you open the door, all the chickens rush out for their food and water. A really bad broody one won't, and then you have to force it. So as soon as it's out, if you force it out the nest, it will, I mean, it's hungry, it's thirsty, so it will go. There you go. It now can't get back in. Yeah, just shut the door on it. The problem in doing this is your other birds that aren't broody but still want to lay their eggs want to get back in there and lay their eggs. Did I just shut one in there? No, it is empty. That's all right. So you're going to cause a bit of stress among your flock, and then the birds are going to go, well, I can't lay my egg in there, so I'm going to go and find a bush somewhere and lay my eggs. Then if they go broody in that bush, you now don't know where your bird is, and this happens quite often. You think, oh, I've lost the bird, the fox has got it. 25 days later, your chicken reappears with about 12 chicks behind it. Or if you've not got a cockerel, it would just stay in that bush and die because it's trying to hatch eggs. Then you don't know where it is, and the eggs go bad, the predator will get it, or it will just die of exposure. So locking them out does work, but only in quite a controlled way and in a way that you're keeping an eye on it. And if the bird is going to accept being locked out, sometimes you lock them out, they go mad for a day, they go back in, they'll sit on their eggs, or hopefully you've removed them, so they'll go in, oh, my eggs are gone, right, I'll lay another one. You do the same the next day, and they do think, I'll blow this, and they give up. And I've had that work with Pekings, which are one of the good sitters, the ones that brood a lot. So that does work, however, you do need to monitor it. The most, I say effective way, it sounds cruel, and you have to be, again, careful, all these things are careful, because what you're trying to essentially do is break the natural behaviour of the bird, which is something I advocate against doing, especially with things like cockerels and crow collars and all that jargon. However, you've got to weigh up the natural behaviour of the bird against the health of the bird and the bird's well-being. If you're not got fertile eggs, there is no point the bird brooding. So it is better to break it than to let a bird sit on empty eggs. The way you do that is with a broody box, which is not a box, and I will show you how to do a broody box. And this does work 99% of the time, but the exact way it's going to work is a little bit of trial and error, and So there's no exact science here. I will show you an example, but what will work for you, you may need to adapt and change a little bit. But I will show you the basic principle of it and then come up with something yourself. Okay, so this is a broody box. It's not a box, it's a crate, but broody crate doesn't sound as good as broody box. The reason it's not a box is because you do not want it enclosed. You don't want any kind of darkness at all. This chicken, the hen is seeking darkness and security to make its nest away from predators, away from seeing eyes, so it feels safe and secure and can sit there. What you want is something like this, completely open. So she's never going to feel secure enough to go broody and sit. She's going to be on her guard. And you just want to leave her in here with food and water. Now, before anyone points out, yes, I know the food and water are empty because I've just done this for the demonstration of the video. This particular hen was broody yesterday, which I was going to use for this video, and now she isn't, which is typical. So I'm going to let her out in a minute. She's in there for the proof of this. So this is what they do. So if she was still really broody, she'd be sat in that corner having a right moan up. But eventually, after a couple of days, she'll sort herself out. Now, the location of where you put this is important. I'm just out in the field because I'm demonstrating. You do not want to just do this in the middle of your garden or field or whatever, because now your chicken is completely exposed to the elements. If it has a sudden downpour, she's going to get soaked. If you have a heat wave, she's going to get cooked and baked, and it'll be horrendous. So you don't want her in the dark. You don't want her in a shed, because then you've achieved nothing. But you do want her undercover, so in a gazebo or something like that. Just something where she's away from the elements, away from the direct sunlight. Now, this is actually quite good. So she's not gone broody, and this is the behaviour you're looking for. She's like, get me out of here. So as soon as your hen in your broody box starts sort of doing this, now she may do it initially because she wants to get back to her nest, and you need to ignore that. This one just wants to get out. So as soon as she's doing this, after she's gone through the broody stage, then she's safe to be let out. I've had a few people say this doesn't work. And then when you question them, the reason it's not working is because at night they're putting her back in the coop. Well, yeah, so she's just going to go straight back to the nest. You have to really persevere with it and feel awful. Even if you bring this into your house for the night. Just so you've completely discombobulated her. She's away from her surroundings. Right, come on, let's let you out. It's not fair to stress you out. Go on, this way. They're not the brightest, are they, chickens? Turn around, love. Oh, for goodness sake, come on, look. There. Right, she's got the hump with me now. Let's close that up. There you go. So that's the basic sort of principle of it. But try different things that work for you. It is breed dependent, like I said, but it is a natural process of the bird. So you are fighting a losing battle, and quite often when one goes broody, they all go broody. Oh, that door shut again. So once you'll break one brooding nest, then you turn around and there's another one doing it. But that is chicken keeping. It is a completely natural behaviour of the bird, and if you're breeding birds, you want that behaviour, because then you don't have to rely on incubators and all this kind of thing. Some chickens just don't go broody. They're terrible, others. Absolutely shocking. Other ones are like serial breeders. They just broody all the time. But that is not breed dependent. That is personality of the bird. It really is. You'll get some that just obsessed with being a mum, and others that have no maternal instinct. How your bird behaves, you just have to monitor it, and then act accordingly. So I hope this has been helpful. We've been Caught Farm Chickens, and we'll see you on the next one.